a new season for the Ultra Trail World Tour that will unveil even more destinations this year all across the globe. Soon, thousands of runners from all over the world will take on prestigious mountain ranges and breathtaking amount of vertical miles. Quickly established as a legitimate trail running venue, Hong Kong kicks off once again the Ultra Trail World Tour. Top runners will start their quest for the overall title on that course, where French runner François Den established last year a new course record. Hong Kong offers a very diverse environment. One can experience a moody, sometimes wild Chinese sea whose waves come crashing on a rough coastline. On the other hand, the architectural tidiness of Chinese-influenced traditional suburbs give a more peaceful face to the city that proudly hosts the third financial district of the world. With its skyscrapers and exciting life, Hong Kong quickly confirms its potential for trail running and sees its local trail taken over by an ever-growing amount of enthusiast striders.
One day some of my friends invited me to go on a hike. It's just a hike. I've never hiked before in my life, and it gave me a sense of peace. You're away from all the people, because you know Hong Kong is so busy. Once I started hiking, and some friends are saying, well, there's actually like a race this end of the year. Would you like to try? And I was like thinking, well, why not? Since my friends are there, I'll just try. If I don't like it, I can not do it. I can like forget about it next time. So I tried, and it's an addiction. One race led to two, and two led to I don't know how many now, and then distance grow. From my first race, maybe 10 kilometers, and now I'm running 10 times. My main fear for the race is really if my legs just decided to give me pain. But if not, I think it would be fine, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. Why am I doing it? Just because I want to see what I'm made of, see whether I can be the better person, be the better version of myself.
The true luxury of Hong Kong is the opportunity for trail runners to go from a noisy concrete jungle to the peacefulness of mountain trails in a matter of minutes.
My name's Dominic Rigby. Originally from England. I moved over to Hong Kong 9 years ago, originally for a 3-week business trip, which got extended like a lot of people that come over here. And after 6 months, I sort of got the opportunity to stay here permanently. The great joys of Hong Kong are you're in the middle of a dynamic, fast-moving city, and on the edge of the city you've got great trails which are 15-minute walk from your office or from your home, so it's very easy to escape the hustle and bustle of the city and get into the peace and quiet of the trails and the hills of Hong Kong. My running career, if one could call it a career, is back in the UK. I used to enjoy a lot of cycling, a little bit of running around the park near where I lived. I've always been very much into hiking and hill walking, having sort of done quite a bit in the Lake Districts, Scotland, Snowdonia in the UK, and also across the Alps. Moving to Hong Kong with the hills, getting into hiking was very easy here, and progressed into trail running probably a year or 2 years after I moved here. So if you'd asked me 3 months ago, I would have set quite a challenging target. So I was sort of feeling quite fit at the time, having had 6 months out, playing around Chamonix for a month and a half, and various other parts of the world, sort of hiking and running in the hills. But over the last 3 months, I've sort of had to work quite hard. A lot of business trips between Hong Kong and Europe, so the training hasn't quite been what I wanted it to be. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens on the day.
After a much-deserved winter break, time has come for the international scene to gather up again. Some of the best American and European trail runners have chosen the Hong Kong 100 date to start their season, becoming for the occasion the main focus of local journalists. Athletes take a last chance to capture the mix of cultures, people, and bright city lights before the start. Some are simply left in awe in front of such an unforgettable scenery, while others will end up forgetting something else.
The backpack. I left my bag in one of the taxis.
The starting area is slowly but surely coming to life as the sun rises over the 2,000 participants. Ultimate fine-tuning of the kit, final moves to warm up in a very relaxed atmosphere. The last one to appear are the elite athletes, blending up with the crowd who's already ready to go.
I got another bag, but wow, it was a funny situation because it was amazing. I don't know where is my real bag, maybe it's in the taxi, maybe it's in China now, but it's okay. I have my legs, which is the most important thing, my trainer, so it's okay. Thank you.
I'm excited. This should be a wild ride.
A very brutal course indeed, with 100k and no less than 4,500 meters of elevation gain, with a total cutoff time of 30 hours.
I'm not in my 100% because it's just in January. It's difficult to train in my country because it's full of snow, but I will try to do all my best and I will try to stay in front of the race for sure, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe it will be a surprise or not.
The pack, eager to get it on, is now released under pressing clouds. A very fast pace is set right from the get-go, everyone trying to make his way to the front. It's under a light drizzle that the 2,000 runners are reaching the first single tracks and the countless and infamous stairs of Hong Kong. Nuria Pica's looking good seems to have broken the spell of a disappointing 2016 season. Her main competitor Lisa Borzoli isn't too far back. Meanwhile, Megan Young is soaking in every second spent with the meat pack. Amongst the front pack, the depth of the field is such that no major breakthrough has been done so far. Seth Swanson leads the top names of the day, all within seconds of each other. The day's young, and it's a long way to the finish line.
I feel pretty good. I'm excited. It's been, feels like it's been a long time since I had a real race. It's almost a year, so it's a good feeling. I'm really excited, and it's tough. It's a tough position too. It's kind of being out of it for that long. It's like really kind of lose a little bit of that confidence, and so. Well, I think that's just the case anymore. If you want to go to a fun race, there's going to be a ton of really fast people, which makes it exciting. That's what really that competitive, spirit makes it really fun. So yeah, of course, it brings out some nerves, but I think that if you're not nervous, then something's wrong. And so having that little bit of nervous edge, I think, is really keeps you sharp and keeps you thinking about the race. So I think it's good.
Past the soft section of the sandy beaches, the runners now face a much more technical and rocky trail. The pace slows down dramatically. Nuria Picasse doesn't seem to be too affected though, and carries on leading the women's pack ahead of Lisa Borzali.
I tried to prepare this race during the winter, and I ran a lot because I know that the first part is very fast, and so I try to run flat. I try to do my best. So then, if I go on first 10 is okay. If I go on first 5 is okay, and if I go better is more okay.
As the path leads into higher mountains, another female seems to be taking advantage of the terrain change. Her name is Mary McNaughton, coming from New Zealand. After the second checkpoint, 28 kilometers into the race, the ranking remains unchanged. 13 men, including all the big names, are still within seconds. In the women's field, McNaughton has moved up one spot and is now right behind Pickus.
I ran casually all through my 20s and 30s, but really started trail running maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I came to live in Hong Kong. For me, probably my two favourite races are Tarawera. As I said, it's just a special race, it's spectacular. And it was my first year to do UTMB, which was just incredible from a atmosphere, support, the people out there in the race, just the feeling was like I'd never experienced before, and that was amazing as well. The Hong Kong 100 is just a special race, great trail, you'll be challenged. The race has some really neat climbs towards the end, which always push people to their limits, and it's just a special race in terms of atmosphere. The support is incredible, the checkpoints are just well run, they run like clockwork, and it's just a great race with a great atmosphere.
In the men's field, Sage Canada has been chasing Daniel Young since the 35K mark. Same scenario from Tim Tollefson and Didrik Hermansen respectively. At the midway station, the pressure is not tangible amongst the leaders.
That is everything. No such. Thank you.
Behind Tim Tollefson, Chinese runner Yang Kiao, winner of the 2013 edition, is rallying strong, showing perfect race management. Seth Thornton seems a bit spent, but still takes full advantage of his experience abroad. In the Ma On Chan climb, Yin Cao continues his comeback and passes Sage Canada's first, soon followed by the Italian runner Young. 65 Ks into the race out of 100, and the assault is about to be officially launched amongst the top runners.
I feel good, I'm healthy, I've been training well, preparing for this race, and really excited to be out here back in Hong Kong, exploring the trails with great competition. I just came to visit here last year to watch the race. I was crewing for some friends, so I've never actually competed in Asia or run on the trails, so it'll be new to me. Well, I'm doing the Ultra Trail World Tour, so I want to complete as many races as I can, and this is the first one of the year. I also like to race in new areas with really competitive international fields, and this race really has all that, so that's the main motivation, to challenge myself, appreciate the beauty, and compete with top runners in the world.
Chasing the top two runners and with several podiums and wins on the Ultra Trail World Tour, Danish Didrik Hermansen looks fresh as a daisy. A tropical atmosphere now sets onto the course, while Hermansen, Tollefson, and Swanson are fighting for a spot onto the podium. Frenchman Julien Chaurier falls back into the rankings. Nuria Picasse is all smiles, despite the Chinese runner Chen Limning being right on her heels. After last year's results, finding herself on the podium would already be a personal win for the Spaniard.
For me, it's important to discover new places in the world, new races. Don't repeat the same races all the year because it's difficult for my mind. I like discovering new experience, and this is one of the reasons that I'm here in Hong Kong. Yeah, my strategy for this race is, first at all, is run clever. Start easygoing, and after this, after the 45K, which start the hardest part of the race, to do all my best. So my strategy is for sure go slow at the beginning, and then I will see, but for sure not to be fast at the beginning.
Yin Kiao took full advantage of his experience on the course and moved up the field effortlessly to leave all his competition behind, with over a third of the race to go. It is truly at Beacon Hill, with its hundreds of steps overlooking the big city, that Yin Kiao puts the hammer down to create a non-bridgeable gap on his competition.
Going. Fucking steps!
Yep.
Summiting the highest point on the course, runners can gaze on the horizon, looking down on a unique skyline made of man-made buildings and tree-covered hills.
It's a hard life.
Just under 20 Ks to the finish, participants will hit the final aid station before heading down into the fog. Yin Kiao, truly spectacular, is covering the last kilometers on pavement towards the finish line, stretching his stride through the fog. Behind him, Daniel Young has given up the chase. Sage Canade will seek to keep his much honorable spot on the third step of the podium. Yin Kiao repeated his 2013 win for the opening stage of the season. To top up this victory, he also broke last year's course record by 2 minutes, previously set by François Den. Daniel Young earned himself fair and square a second place for his first podium on the Ultra Trail World Tour. Sage Canade completes the podium to successfully kick off a long season ahead of Derek Hermansen, Tim Tollefson, and Seth Swanson.
比赛特别刺激，因为跟很多国际高手就一起交流嘛。因为香港100是 UTWT 的首站，而且影响力也特别大，所以吸引了全世界各地的高手都过来参赛。
On était un groupe d'une quinzaine à l'avant de la course. Je me suis retrouvé rapidement sur l'arrière du groupe et à faire le choix de laisser filer parce qu'après 20 km, ça allait devenir très difficile s'il fallait que je tienne et je risquais de vraiment le payer très cher après. Mais ce que je retiens, c'est que j'ai pris du plaisir sur toute la course, je ne me suis pas fait mal. J'aurais peut-être dû me faire un peu plus mal et j'aurais gagné quelques places, mais ça aurait été vraiment secondaire.
In the women's field, Nuria Picas is back on top, scoring not only a win, but also smashing the course record by nearly 40 minutes in a time of 11 hours and 53.
I was conservative, but it's my manner to running. I don't know to go fast at the beginning, so always is the same. It's 100K, so the beginning is very interesting to run clever, and after the middle of the race, the things are quite different. For me, the bag is like my home, no? When I'm running, so maybe now it is in some place of Hong Kong inside the taxi, but there are millions of taxis in Hong Kong, so it's difficult to find. It made me wake up in the morning when I realized, where is my bag? Oh my God, come on, woo! But it was funny. Now it's funny to explain to the people what happened. And it's interesting because the most important thing is our legs, our shoes, our trainers, and the other things are not so important that we think.
Behind the Spaniard, Chinese runner Lim Ning takes second, and McNaughton from New Zealand completes a very international podium.
I think I got lucky today and just had a pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but nothing went horribly wrong, and I really enjoyed it. And running on the home course really helped me today, I think. So just keep it together and finish reasonably strong.
Our friend Dominic also managed to successfully complete his own challenge.
That was tough. Just so happy to be back on the trails, running. Not really thinking too much about time, but just sort of being part of the fantastic community that trail running in Hong Kong is.
Only a month later, and a few thousand miles south, the Tarawera Ultramarathon is hosted in New Zealand. The placid waters of the Rotorua Lake, located in one of the world's famous outdoor destinations, offers a much remote and wild setup for the second stage of the Ultra Trail World Tour. This one is an old-timer. Part of the Ultra Trail World Tour since the very first year, the race has created a name for itself for all international athletes of the Southern Hemisphere. Fiona Hayvice is one of the big names after she won last year's edition.
My name is Fiona Hayvice, and I live in Wellington, New Zealand, which is the capital of New Zealand. And I live here with my husband and 5-year-old son. And my husband and I own our own business, which we manage together. I work from home and in charge of the marketing side of the business. It's a retail store. We've actually got 2 stores selling all Kiwi designed furniture and accessories for the home. Really, I started running on a recreational level when I was at high school, and carried on for a number of years just for my own mental and sort of physical well-being. But it's really been just the last 2 years where I've been running on more of a competitive level. Are up fairly early because with a almost 5-year-old, he doesn't let us sleep in too much, so it's usually an early start. We'll have breakfast together typically before we then sort of all go our separate ways. Our son is at preschool, so we drop him up at preschool in the morning, and then I would come back and I work from home and have a home office, so I would perhaps get some work done in the morning. I find that's time when my brain is most switched on, diligent, I suppose. So I get what I need to get done as far as the business goes in the morning, and then I would typically slot in my training before I went and picked up my son at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and spend some time with him, and then have an evening meal together as a family. A couple of days a week I help out a friend with her female running group. So my husband would come home from work and we'd do a quick switch, and he'd do bath time with our son, and I'd be out with the girls doing some training and come home for a later meal. In 2016 for me kicked off with a big peak by winning the Tarawera Ultramarathon. It really set a foundation for me for the year and also for subsequent years. It was a bit of a platform for me to take off, and from there I went over to Europe and raced a couple of events in Europe last year, and that was my first time racing in Europe, so great experience. I love being out on the trails, just escaping, I guess. I live in the city, so being able to be on the trails is really, quite an escape from the concrete, and I like the camaraderie of the fellow trail runners that you meet from all over the world, really. This year, 2017, I've just run the Tarawera Ultramarathon a couple of days ago, and which is on the Ultra Trail World Tour. And then I'm going to head over to Australia in May and race over there again. And then in June, 4 weeks later, I'm going to the States for first time racing and also doing my first 100 miler at the Western States.
It's the calm before the storm on the shores of the Rotorua Lake. In the ultra trail world, all elite know each other and happily share quality time with each other before throwing it down on a course. It's a privilege they have to travel to such places, and they surely appreciate catching up with one another. A place where friendship and competition blend genuinely. Before each stage, elite athletes are introduced to the press and the rest of the pack, an opportunity for all to share advice and personal experiences in a very relaxed and friendly environment.
Coming back, obviously I want to run faster. I think I'm stronger than I was last year, and I've learned a lot. So, and I think I got a lot wrong in last year's race with my nutrition and a couple of other things. So I think if everything goes well, then the main aim is just to be quicker than last year. So I've got some progress there, and ideally that means I'll be competitive again. The field is pretty amazing. You've got Gediminas, Jonas, Jim. I mean, Jim Walmsley's a phenomenon, and the past 12 months he's gone from, I think it was 2015, coming 25th or something at World 100k champs, to now he's just untouchable. So he's a phenomenon. I think he'll go off the front really fast, and it'll just be a matter of if if anyone gets on the gym train. Last year it was the Jonas train. This year it's the gym train. It's probably going to be a bit quicker and makes it even more fun. My plans, it's kind of up in the air because of the insanity of the gym factor.
For this edition, we'll account for a very fast 102 kilometers course with over 2,700 meters gain that will link Rotorua to Kawe Road. Racing the Tarawera Ultramarathon goes beyond the racing experience. The Maori warriors and local culture immerse the competitors entirely for a unique and intense experience. Such is the spirit of the Ultra Trail World Tour, where each participant seeks for adventure and discovering local cultures and regions before the pure drive to race. Race organizers don't miss on the opportunity to present the local geological gems of this far end of the world, often unsuspected by Americans and European runners. Mixed tourism, culture, and sport is truly what the Ultra Trail World Tour is all about.
I feel good. I feel revived. This little bit of summer coming down here to New Zealand for Tarawera is such a joy. It's such a perfect time of year to start the season and start in the summer and get a little break from winter. A lot of great women running this year, coming down here for this. It'll be an exciting race to be a part of. I wish I could watch it almost. I'm gonna take it conservatively from the start. Try not to get too wrapped up in what everyone else is doing, because that's always easy to do.
It's pitch black when competitors gather around the starting line for the 6 a.m. start. Headlamps are on and runners share a final round of hugs and smiles before heading out into the deep New Zealand native forest featuring endemic ferns and moss. Nothing better than a haka performed by Maori warriors to launch the 1,400 runners onto their long journey towards Kawe Road. As predicted by educated spectators and journalists, it's Jim Walmsley in his usual short shorts and singlet attire who takes off right from the gun. Sam McCutcheon and David Bryan lead the chase. Jonas Budd, last year's winner, is a little ways back, followed by the 2016 Ultra Trail World Tour winner Gediminas Grinis. Further back, we find Matt Flaherty from the USA. In the women's field, it's the American runner Camille Herron who takes an aggressive lead over her female competitor and even ahead of some elite in the men's field such as Mark Warden.
I've got a huge year coming up with another Ultra Trail World Tour race in Ultra Trail Australia, which I've been wanting to go to for ages. And then I'm doing the Barclays Marathons, Boston Marathon, Big Sur, hard rock, western states, and I don't know, maybe the Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc if I'm lucky enough to be able to run that again, or some other races. So it's going to be an incredible year.
This is my first time to New Zealand, and I'm super excited. Obviously, I've heard just amazing things, you know, before I came to New Zealand, but just getting here, it's, you know, I'm just shocked how, you know, how gorgeous the trails are, how much variety there is on the trails that I've been on, and just in the area. We've been traveling for the past couple of days, and I already got to see a lot of different stuff, which is pretty cool.
With so many contestants in the women's field, the race day should see unveil a fierce battle.
My goal this year is the UTWT World Tour, is the circuit, and this year the rules change a little bit, so it's very important to do 2 races that gives to me lots of points. So I choose Marathon des Sables and UTWT du Mont Blanc to do this year. So my goal and my objective is to have a good race, Marathon des Sables and UTWT du Mont Blanc. And Tarawera is one of the race part of the circuit, but here for me is more kind of a training, more kind of preparation to do this race after really well. So it's really good to start the year here in New Zealand. I think that will be really good for me, for my performance. And I know that lots of good runners here, and it's a pleasure to share some hours, I hope, with them.
In the lead and under clear skies, Jim Walmsley carries on with his one-man show. His pressing pace can't be sustained by any of his competition that he gradually breaks away from. Sam McCutcheon and David Bryan try their best to minimize the gap that is still growing. Jonas Budd relies on his experience of the course and his long-distance running skills to keep the podium at reach. Far behind, Gediminas Grinius is still pushing the pace.
I feel just great, because this year I decided not to race for points in Ultra Trail World Tour, so for me life is much easier. This year for me just to do, of course, Ultra Trail World Tour races, but just purely enjoy, you know, not to compete so much, because like a few more years ahead of me, so my body needs to rest, so I'm choosing strange races which are not giving much points, but they are nice and nice destinations. So I'm okay.
A similar situation occurs in the women's field, where the tall shape of Camille Herron is still holding on to first place. She's holding off the marathon Olympian Magdalena Boulet. Such fine weather and trails a bit more rolling than usual suit the ladies' field very well. Fiona Hayvice seems to have taken a toll at this point of the race. The New Zealand route offers a wide variety of dirt trails. Never too technical, never too steep. It is a very fast course.
This will be my first time. Been pretty jealous watching everyone's runs and seeing the beautiful scenery the last few years, so I'm pretty excited to be here. It's going to be very competitive. It looks like it's going to be much more competitive than some of the other years. So, look, I think that just brings out the best in people. Give a little bit of competition is a good thing.
The dense native forest offers shade and cool air to the runners who are starting to suffer from the heat. Walmsley, however, doesn't seem affected at all. Sustaining a blistering sub-7-minute mile pace, he's crushing the field as he clears the aid station one after the other. David Bryan wasn't able to sustain the fast pace early on the race, and is now falling back under weather getting hotter and hotter. Jonas Budd, with his solid experience in the 100K distance, chose another race plan. A more conservative approach during the first half of the course is now paying off as the Swedish runner is getting close to a spot on the podium. Everyone's race plan is unique and will influence differently the strategy on race day.
So I've gotten in like a good mix of training between like long, fast runs that are a little flat, but then also I've gotten in good climbing. So it's been a really good mixture of kind of a variety of training, but then mostly volume-based, I would say. I think the course record will get dipped under quite a bit, so I expect it to be fast. I think if I can string out everybody else, so it's not a pack chasing me, if I can string everybody out where everybody's kind of by themselves, then I'll feel comfortable running away. But if it's a whole pack chasing me, that's not a good situation. I would prefer like one-on-one. You're alone, I'm alone. I would prefer that. If it's a group of guys, I think they can push each other to run faster. But who knows, someone could surprise me and they take it out quick, but I'm okay with that. But I'll probably go with, if someone else wants to push an early pace, I'll probably just go with that. I mean, I know which guys to watch and kind of respect what they're doing, so we'll see.
I love this event and it's just perfect for me. It's 100K. I love to run 100K races and it's winter home right now, so it's really nice to have a break from the ordinary training and the winter to come down here for some summer and have some really nice runnings. So it's more runners that can run really well and really fast this year. Last year I think it was just a few runners. This year it can be maybe 5 different or 10 runners in the top 3. Last year maybe it was just 5, 6 runners who could be in top 3, I think. So it's many more runners can be in the lead this year.
Simply put, Jim Walmsley crushed the field at a ridiculous sub-7 minutes per mile pace. The American runner took no less than 25 minutes off the previous course record, finishing the race in 7 hours and 23.
It was a really good day out there. Missed my course prediction by 3 minutes, but that's not too bad.
Congratulations, Jonas Budd!
Last year's winner, Jonas Budd, finishes in second position, 50 minutes back, and just ahead of third place Sam McCutcheon. Then comes David Bryan and Gediminas Krinis. A similar scenario took place in the women's field, where American runner Camille Herron led the pack from end to end. She never looked back to break a second course record on that day in 8 hours and 56 minutes.
Very happy, of course. That I'm really tough. I definitely think that I have a really bright future as an ultra runner. And
Magdalena Brule, also from the US, takes second place in the women's field. She finishes just ahead of Cecilia Fili, who kept her in sight in the final 10 kilometers, yet unable to close the gap.
Getting updates on you.
Much further back, the rest of the pack is still pushing to rally the finish line, supported by the race director himself, Paul Charteris. It is a personal challenge for all participants who will deal with the terrain all the way through the night to clear the 102 kilometers course before the cutoff time. Next up is the Marathon des Sables in the sub-Moroccan desert. A whole different terrain and format for this week-long stage race where competitors need to carry their own supplies the whole way. More than a race, this is a life-changing experience for those who will take on this next stage of the Ultra Trail World Tour.